Mind reading present. How to stop obsessing over someone. 12 very effective tips. Hello everyone, in this video, we will discuss 12 very effective tips to stop your obsession with someone. First, let's talk about the importance of turning your attention to positive and meaningful activities. Next, we'll discuss how to rebuild self-confidence and focus on personal growth. These are just a few examples of the tips we'll cover in this video, so be sure to watch till the end. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on other valuable content. Thanks for watching. What is obsessive love disorder? Before we get into tips that can help you, maybe we should talk about obsessive love disorder. You probably haven't even heard of it. This is very similar to obsessive compulsive disorder (OCD), where a person has very obsessive thoughts that lead to compulsive behavior. You may be wondering how to stop obsessing over someone for the sake of a friend, and not sure if that should be considered a problem at the time. But obsessing over someone can force you to do some very strange things. You can turn your entire personality into someone that your love interest likes. You wish he would be more interested in you if you had more in common. Another thing you might do is overanalyze everything he does. His gestures, his words, the places he visits. You're sure that there's meaning behind it all. You stalk her social media profiles so you know where she is, what she's doing, and who she's with. If they don't reply to your messages or you don't message often, you're likely to check their location on Snapchat. In essence, you monitor his activities like an FBI agent. The majority of people who experience this tend to text and call the object of their obsession excessively. You make an effort to keep in touch with this person, even though he or she may not do the same for you. This behavior is very unhealthy, and worst of all, you may not be the only person suffering in this situation. You're also dragging your friends into your obsessive actions. Whatever the case, you need to find a real way that will help you stop obsessing over someone. You may be obsessed with someone you're dating, or someone you admire from a distance. You may even be obsessed with someone you've only met online, and have never met in person. More often than not, it will wreak havoc on your mental health. Fortunately, you may not need professional help because of this. If given enough time, you'll most likely stop obsessing over it. You can't expect a healthy relationship to come from an obsession like this. How to stop obsessing over someone even if you have a lot of intrusive thoughts about them. There are some tips and tricks to let go of the object of your obsession. Your obsessive behavior may not disappear overnight, but you need to be consistent for your well-being. Number 1. Realize he also has flaws. When we fall in love with someone to the point of becoming an obsession, we forget that they are also just people who have their own flaws. The man of your dreams, who is always in your mind, himself has completely flaws. He's not perfect just because you refuse to see all his vices. You need a reality check, and you're the only one who can give it to yourself. When people say that perfect people don't exist, they are completely right. You can't put him on stage and then believe that everything he does is absolutely mesmerizing. Remind yourself of all the things he does that you don't look for in a partner. He may have many flaws that you are currently ignoring, but once you start noticing him, your interest will diminish. It may not disappear completely, but at least you can release it from its pedestal and help yourself. Stop obsessing over someone who has flaws like you. Maybe even more. It can be difficult to fix your own mindset, but you have to learn how to stop yourself from idolizing it and making excuses for it. Number 2. Remember that you do not need it. When you say that you need someone, you are actually saying that you are codependent. You said that you need this person in order to be happy. Well, you don't need anyone but yourself. Everyone in your life is completely irreplaceable. This is something you need to learn if you are in a relationship with a guy and you are obsessed with him. Trust me when I tell you that many of my friends and I are also having the same problem. We will get completely lost in loving the man we are with. Each of us will forget that we don't need a man to complete us. When you get caught up in this thinking, you ignore the fact that before he came, you had life. You lived for decades without him, and now that he is here, you act as if you need him to complete you? Not. You don't need anyone but yourself. You may want someone in your life, but you don't need one. Imagine your life like a cake. A beautiful and delicious cake. Your partner is the best. Would the cake be good without it? Yes. Is it a little prettier with cherries? Yes. But without it, it would be just as good too. Number 3. Know the triggers. If you want to stop obsessing over someone, you have to really learn what triggers your obsessive thoughts. You may not be able to figure it out on your own, but you may be able to point out some of them. Before you go into stalking mode, what happens? Is your friend talking about him? Or are they just talking about their own relationship, and now you're triggered to stalk them? Another thing that might happen is that you see his ex-girlfriend, and your mind is completely dead. You just know that you need to talk to him, look at his photos, or step up your game. That's when you might want to emulate his style, or do something more brilliant than him. You try very hard to show him that you are the right person for him. While you may not see it that way, any situation that triggers your obsessive thoughts should be avoided. For example, if you know you're going to meet him somewhere, don't go there. If you follow them and they trigger you, you'd better block them. Especially if the man is your ex-boyfriend. If she's your current boyfriend, look for ways to avoid her ex. Don't obsess over her, and learn her own triggers. Number 4. Try to control your mind. This is difficult because you wouldn't be in this situation if you could control your mind. When you are triggered, your mind works against you. You may think, I can't stop thinking about him, but believe me when I tell you that you can. Once you've identified the trigger, you'll know when you triggered it and how to regain control. For example, when you feel like you're going down a rabbit hole, take a deep breath. Inhale for 10 seconds, hold your breath for 10 seconds, and then exhale as slowly as possible. Do that as much as you need. Focus on the air that enters the lungs and exits through the lips. This little exercise is one that people do when they suffer from anxiety or OCD in general. You could also find yourself getting triggered in public places, and that's when you have to occupy your brain with other things. Find someone to talk to. Turn up the volume of music playing through your earbuds. Anything that can distract you. Then when you get home, do the exercise I told you about. Whenever you feel like you're going to overthink this and get obsessed, find a way to stop and take your mind off. What works for most people may not work for you, but try to find your own way of coping. Number 5. Get a stable support system. We can't go through life alone. We need the help of friends and family, so don't hesitate to ask for help. After all, you are just a human being. When you realize this problem you are experiencing, it will befall you, and you will not be able to handle it on your own. Your friends are watching from the sidelines. They will be able to give you objective opinions and advice. They will see everything from a completely different perspective than what you see. They will be able to help you see things clearly and plan what you need to do to get over this person. Even if you're in a relationship with this guy, you need to stop obsessing over him if you want a healthy relationship. Therefore, you urgently need a support system that is ready to help you. You may need them to pick you up at a time when you're not strong enough to face everything alone. You will need them to remind you that you have someone else in your life ready to be with you. They will be your reality checker whenever you need them. Even though you may believe that they don't want to help you or that they have other better things to do, they will still surprise you and remind you that friends and family members are more important than any man. Number 6. Joke openly. You may often hear that people use humor to cope with things that bother them. Joking about these things is probably the healthiest way to deal with them. You don't need to go into detail or make self-deprecating comments. Just allow yourself and others to joke about it and take a bad situation lightly. Laugh about your obsession with this person and laugh about their flaws. This may not sound very appealing to you, but right now, you need healthy coping mechanisms. Number 7. Know that your emotions are completely valid. Let me tell you this now. People will tell you that your emotions are invalid. They will tell you that you are overreacting or crazy. Everyone will try to undo your feelings. They have never experienced what you have experienced, so you have to take care of yourself. No one knows how hard it will be for you that stopping obsessing over someone isn't as easy as deciding to quit. The anger you feel, the sadness that overwhelms you, and even the anxiety you feel, all of those emotions are completely valid. There is an explanation for every emotion you experience. People will tell you that you don't love him, that what you're going through is nothing more than infatuation. However, I am here to tell you that if you feel like you are in love, then that emotion is completely valid. Whatever the reason, your past relationships have led to persistent thoughts of self-doubt and low self-esteem. Now, you will have more confidence in others when they say you are really crazy. But when you want to stop obsessing over someone, you have to understand that all your emotions are natural. You need to express it correctly. You won't be able to move on unless you process your feelings. Putting it in a bottle will only make you miserable, and when you think that you have forgotten it, everything will suddenly overflow. Number 8. Find something else to your attention. Instead of mindlessly scrolling through your Instagram feed, try to find things that catch your eye. Your toxic thoughts may want to come back to you when you least expect them. They will spend you completely if you give them a chance. To stop obsessing over someone, one of the best tactics is to find a new hobby. What do you like to do? Do you like to exercise, read books, go to the club? Do things that bring serotonin into your system and make you happy. When you occupy your mind with these things, you won't have enough space in your day to obsess over a guy. You can also practice mindfulness through meditation and yoga. This may sound a bit cheesy, but when was the last time you felt completely grounded while in it? You're usually completely immersed in your own thoughts. If you want, you can even include your support system in it. Do these things with your friends and family. Travel, visit places you've never seen before, and don't let yourself get bogged down by your own thoughts. Number 9. His opinion does not define you. Whatever the reason, whether it's because of love, your ex, or your actual boyfriend, you put his opinion of you before anyone else's. This is obviously because you are trying to change yourself in order to accommodate him. You do whatever she likes. You like the same things as her. You dress the way she wants, and so on. But aren't you aware of the fact that it will never happen? No matter how much you change, you will never be good enough to meet your own standards. If a man loves you, he will, because you are the right person for him. If a guy really wants to be with you, he won't just change his opinion of you because you don't like the same music. The way people see you actually has nothing to do with who you really are. They see you in a way they can understand, not in your true complexity. Therefore, you should not allow yourself to be determined by the opinion of this man. You are far more than he can recognize. Does he know about this inner turmoil you are going through? Probably not. You should not believe that what he thinks of you is a true picture of who you are as a person. So please stop obsessing over someone whose opinions are divided about you. The only valid opinion is your own. Number 10. Stop blaming yourself. There are situations where you blame yourself. Your crush doesn't reply to your text messages, or he doesn't even see your efforts at all. So now, you're doing one logical thing in your mind. You blame yourself. You are convinced that you are the one who is at fault here, and you need to change even more. Please follow his profile and his friends. Ask everyone around you what you should do to get his help. But it's not your fault. It's not your responsibility to make others like you. After all, you can't force someone to like you. You may also find yourself making a fool of yourself when you see it. You may trip and fall face down. I've seen that happen too many times. If this happens to me or my friend, we will blame ourselves. But it's nobody's fault. You stumbled. You make a small mistake. Don't obsess to the point that you keep repeating this awkward experience until the wee hours of the morning. Number 11. Put yourself on that pedestal. Who has always been there for you all your life? Who knows you best? And who takes care of you when no one else will? That's right. It's always you. You are the most reliable person for yourself. Whenever you experience any kind of heartbreak, you are the one who does all the work and recovers yourself. So why are you now obsessed with someone other than yourself? I know, loving yourself sounds so easy these days. People make it seem like it's easy to look at yourself in the mirror and say some nice things. But look at yourself. Look at how many things you have fought for and how strong you are at the moment. You shouldn't put a man on a pedestal, put yourself there. I truly believe that the best way to stop obsessing over someone to start obsessing over yourself. Show yourself all that kindness and love. Give yourself the time you spend on this man. Show yourself that you can treat yourself well. You deserve the same. Number 12. Consider therapy. This may be a scary thing to consider right now, but it might help you. If you've tried everything else on this list and still can't stop obsessing over someone, you may want to consider therapy. A therapist is someone who is neutral. They are there to talk about your problems and help you deal with them. When you have an unhealthy obsession, it certainly makes sense to ask a mental health professional for help. They will help you regain a healthy state of mind. You may not want this at all, but trust me, once you get this luxury, you'll be grateful to have done it. Right now, you have to take care of yourself if you want to stop obsessing over him. Your therapist will help you figure everything out and show you how to cope. They will remind you of your self-worth, because you have obviously forgotten about it. Don't tap it until you try it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends so we can keep making them. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and remember to click on the notification bell. Also, be sure to check out our other videos as well. Thanks for watching.